What's up, guys? Happy Thursday. Marcin here. Running late today. I apologize for that. But life happens sometimes. And I just wanted to welcome you in our free training. What are we doing in those sessions? So first, quick introduction. I'm Marcin. If you're watching this for the first time, I've been doing photography for the last 17 years, and every Thursday I go online and share some golden nuggets, or as I say, little golden BBs. There's really no silver bullet in how you can kind of solve this business, take your camera and make money with it. But there's certainly a lot of mini golden BBs that you can put together and make this business work. I have worked with my wife for a very long time. She did probably 98% of weddings with me. I've worked with other assistants and other photographers, but it has been working for me for a very long time. And I am sure that it's gonna work for you as well. So every Thursday, I have one subject. I always take it apart, whether it's camera, editing, client interaction, legal stuff, business stuff, lead generation, you name it, we discuss it here. And I usually try to spend at least 20, 30 minutes on one topic. And today, without any further ado, the topic is working with others. I wasn't really sure if I should name it that way, because working with others almost sounds like working with an assistant. But today we're going to be talking about delegating work. So, and this will apply to most of you probably. And I wanted to kick us off with a quick story. Give me just 1 second here. Let me get some air going here. All right, much better. So I wanted to kick you off with a quick story. For a very, very long time, when I started the business, with the photography business, obviously, I thought that I was kind of on my own. Basically, what I mean by that is I thought you kind of have to do everything on your own, and it took me a very, very long time to understand. Unfortunately, it took me a very long time to understand that it doesn't have to be this way. Quite frankly, it should be the other way around. Now, here is what I am talking about. So, before I really dive deep, I just want to give you a quick highlight, because maybe you're trying to figure out, is this video for me? Now, maybe this is not for me. So just to let you know, this is for not somebody that's just kicking this off, trying to build this business at the very, very beginning. This is more of you maybe got 2, 3, 4 clients, 5 clients, and now you're kind of looking into, hey, how can I delegate some of the work, because I don't want to get overwhelmed with, let's say now you're going to get 5 more clients over the next 2 weeks. And it's oh, wow, you can really quickly get overwhelmed with the amount of work that's coming in. And you basically should know what your options are in terms of, who can help me? How can I go about getting help? What does it mean to get somebody to help me? So that's really what it is. Back to my story. When I started, I thought I was supposed to be doing everything myself. It is true on a build up, on this sort of we call it come up, right? When you're starting the business from ground up, and you're working on it at the beginning, and when I like I said, 3, 4, 5 clients, you should be looking into maybe outsourcing some of the work. I'll tell you exactly what type of work you should be looking into delegating. I'll share my personal experience, but this is really what we're talking about today. I have a slide deck for you, as always. Let me just take a look here. As I'm pulling this up, just a quick reminder, guys, whenever you're watching this, whether you're live or whether you're watching this in our Facebook group, you should be utilizing comments if there's anything that's on your mind, anything that's unclear, you're confused about a topic or an idea or something. Just throw a comment, and I'll make sure to respond to it. I always take the time after the episode to follow up with folks and just make sure that there's really everything is crystal clear. Now, for the slide deck today, let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can pull this up. We need this deck here. All right, very cool. And slide one, very quickly, freedom through delegation. You don't have to do it all. Build a business that works for you. And a couple things that I wanted to say here. So a lot of times it's like, but I'm the photographer. I have to do all of the work. Think of it more as like, I like the title of a creative director, because really the creative vision for your website, for your photography, for the way you edit, for the types of album or products that you offer to your clients, for how you're approaching your clients, for how you're communicating with your clients, like that creative vision, it's all you. It's just, when we're talking about delegating tasks, is not anybody running the business for you, at least not for a very, very long time. And you control the creative vision, you control the experience for your client, you control the work that the client sees, and you don't have to outsource every tasks. You can just come up some tasks. You can outsource one task, and this mindset, as you learn it at the very beginning, helps you to build a business, an asset that will help you scale that business later. Maybe at some point you want to go on vacation and you want the business to just run. Like outsourcing some tasks, having somebody to help you will help you tremendously. Because whether it's vacation, whether it's stepping away from the business sometimes just because you want to schedule vacation time with family, or maybe down the road you're like building this business, photography business, with intentions to like sell it later. You can always do that, and developing that mindset of like, oh, I have to come up with some systems internally for my business so somebody else can come in and fulfill and perform, is super, super, super helpful. So you're not only building your business for right now, for this week, for next month, or next year, you're setting up a platform for something that can be passed on as an asset, or you can stay in place as a primary photographer. You can stay in a role of a director, having other photographers work for you. So this is just something that I wanted you to keep in mind. And obviously, you, like I said, the creative power is it's always, in terms of the standards, they always come back to you, and you kind of dictate what's happening in the business. So slide number 2, the trap, doing everything yourself. So this is exactly where I ended up. Very bad place to find yourself in. I not only did it once, I did it twice. And each time it was just taking a lot of work. There's a point where you become, people are passing word of mouth. You become popular. You get more and more clients knocking on the door. You're trying to fulfill every need, and you simply get overwhelmed. There's just too much work to do for one person, because it's not just tackling the photography on the day of the engagement, whether it's family shoot, baby shoot, corporate shoot, a wedding, but you have to then follow up with the client, make sure they're happy. You got to build the albums, you have to update your online portfolio, you have to maintain your social media. And at the beginning, like I said, in the ramp up and the build up, the come up stage, it's just something that you're going to have to handle on your own, which is not a big deal because you don't have many clients. But the second you get more clients knocking on your door, being interested in your work, like, you have to keep that balance of like, there's got to be a point where if I see more people coming in my way, I just want to focus maybe on photography, the creative part, and then have somebody else handle something else. So obviously the problem, creative burnout, just because you have so many other items to take care of, you're kind of all over the place. So the creativity sometimes go out the window. I'm not saying this happens often, but like, there are, for every photographer, mid-season somewhere, especially depending on where you are in the country. We're in Florida, so it's summer here all the time. But a lot of times, photographers mid-season, especially when they have like an overwhelming number of weddings mid-season, let's say we were shooting in Connecticut, for example. It's just they experience creative burnout. It's just so much stuff coming in. So this is exactly why we want to outsource some of the work. No work-life balance, obviously. If you're handling it all, not only now you're shooting weddings and most of your summer is busy, or whether it's corporate work is different because you can shoot it kind of throughout the year. but the trying to handle, especially if you have family, kids, or handling that, like that's another reason for why you should be looking for help. And the growth ceiling, which is super important, because you're trying to grow your business, you're trying to elevate your prices, and the only way you can do it is with a happy client. If you have a bunch of clients running around unhappy with your work, trust me, I've been there. We've had seasons where we just got overwhelmed. That's exactly what happens. So this is the lessons that we basically, this is something I've experienced. I know how it feels. And this is exactly why I wanted to share this information with you, because it's critical that you guys are aware that this is coming your way. So we're basically trying to just kind of prep for that here. Let's look at our next slide. And this one, think like a business owner. So this is kind of what I said before. There's like 3 components that I wanted to share with you. One is building a system. If you have seen some of our previous trainings, like I did trainings on image selections. Like if you think about it, if you view that episode alone, it's a process, and it's the same process every time. So you're basically building a quote unquote system where you can then not only do it yourself, and it's very repetitive because it's a step-by-step process. You can almost write it down as we called it an SOP. And not only you can do it yourself, but you can then pass it on to somebody else to handle. So step number 1, build system, document repeatable process. It's something on a piece of paper that you can hand to somebody else and they can handle it. Delegating tasks, focus on creative genius. So you basically are very selective in terms of the work that you choose to do, and the rest is being handled by somebody else, somebody reliable, somebody that can help you. And then this provides you 2 things, which is basically I listed here, scale and freedom. Business runs without you. That's really the goal. I know it sounds like a promise, but the thing is, you can really get to the point where you can focus on the creative part, and you can basically handle the tasks that you're not a big fan of. Maybe there's things that you don't necessarily like. Maybe image selection is not your thing. Maybe image editing or album creation is not your thing. You can then switch to something else, something that's more enjoyable for you. Before I go on to my next slide here, I just wanted to let you guys know, normally I run those training sessions in the Facebook group. If you're already there, no worries. That's definitely a place to be, because all of these recordings, Facebook actually changed their policy for some reason. They only keep the recordings for 30 days. So I make sure that I also record those sessions, and they're free for you to access. They're part of my Facebook group. And if you would like to know where the group is, let me see if I can flash something on your screen. So this is one way to get there, the easyproimage.com/group. This will get you to the Facebook group. If you feel like lazy and you don't want to do anything, your phone should also get you there. If you're already watching the Facebook group, there's nothing you have to do. You're already there. If you're watching, like, let's say, on a big monitor on YouTube live, just scan the code, and then you'll see there's some links. One of them is to the Facebook group, and then to other social media platforms. Just wanted something for you guys to, like, you need to know that, because if you want to just sometimes listen to the video and maybe don't take notes as you go along, like, those videos are available under guides in the Facebook group. So just wanted to mention that. Now let's move on to our next slide here, and this will be what to outsource first. So you pretty much have to delegate tasks that are like I said, that are repetitive, that are maybe time consuming, or that are outside of your zone of genius, let's say, right? Like, if it's just something that you're maybe not good at, something that takes really like hours to do, image selection is one. Even though, like, I've shown you guys when I was doing image selections in Photo Mechanic, I think it was about an hour per 1,000 images. So even if you come back from, let's say, I always talk about events because that's most of my work, that's where the money is. When I deal with like 1,000 images per hour, it's still, when I come back from an event, usually we bring back 3,000, 4,000 images. So it's 3-4 hours immediately. Then when it comes to editing, it takes a long time to edit. Usually it's 100 images per hour, but you have to remember you're not editing 4,000 images. You're editing only 500, 600 images, depending on what you're delivering to your client. This is kind of what it like translates into. So if it's 700 images, 100 per hour, it's usually 7 hours, maybe 8 hours, maybe 6 hours, depending on how flexible you are in Lightroom. And it's with Lightroom, be super careful because you can spend a lot of time there. So it's always good to find somebody reliable that you can hand it off to. And this way you focus on the creative part, get home, download the images, send it to your editor, and they can handle it. So this is just, and it's not only the creative work. I wanted to say here on the slide, I list editing and culling. Culling, which is image selection. So I was literally able to reclaim 70% of my post-production time just because that task is now handled by somebody else. And then admin and finance, same thing. Bookkeeping, taxes, contract scheduling. You guys are going to be blown away by who's available out there online. I'll be able to actually share some websites with you guys where you can actually see like how to look up those individuals. But admin and finance is important, and then marketing. Like social media can be a job on its own. When it comes to like sharing your images and making sure that you're staying on different platforms, it's so competitive these days, especially like now with AI. So like really staying on top of your social media game can be challenging. So there's also some options for you to like leverage platforms where you can find individuals to help you with that. And like I said, if somebody, my biggest, another story I wanted to kind of inject here, my biggest struggle was really especially when it comes to like image editing, I was telling myself for about 6 or 7 years that nobody can do as good of a job as I can. Okay. And I'm sure there are people out there that you guys are just kind of, if you're watching this, if live, you can leave a comment. But the thing is, you're probably in the spot where you're thinking exactly the same thing, where it's like, oh my God, nobody can replace me. Nobody can do it the way I do it. And you know what? The reality, the truth is, you're right. Nobody can. Nobody has this mindset, the vision, the perception that you do. The question is, but we have to ask a different question. The question is not whether somebody can do it the way you do it. The question is, will your client know that you did it versus somebody else? And I got to tell you, when this question was asked, when I was kind of facing that dilemma, I'm like, well, there's only one way to find out. And what I did was I basically found an editor, super reliable person. We've aligned on this sort of creative vision. We have exchanged some images. I'll talk about the process on how to like vet these people. But we've basically aligned creatively. And I said, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? Let's just do it. And guys, it's absolutely mind-blowing. I got the images back. I sent it to my client. I was literally holding my breath. Like I was crossing fingers and I said, okay, I was waiting for the world to end essentially. But the thing is, it's not, in the end, all I got was just raving feedback from my client. Somebody here, I see Justice left a comment. Justice, good to have you here. Justice is saying, great perspective shift, viewing it and phrasing the question that way, and it's absolutely true. So the way, after that moment, it was just like, okay, let's try another one, and then let's try another one, and after doing 3 or 4, I finally understood and realized that it's not, the client ultimately is the judge of your work. Not your mom, not your wife, not your brother, not your closest circle of friends. Like if the client is happy with your work, that's really where it ends, right? This is the testament that that you can move on this way and delegate the work. And the thing is, the other realization that I had also was that I kind of understood what kind of business I was in. Because originally I thought I was just purely 100% in the creative space, creative business, which that's true for photography. But also my clients cared as much about the turnaround time. So I was trying to just deliver the creative part and delaying things where they cared 50% of the my deliverable was the delivery time. So it's really important to just make sure that you're staying on top of what your client actually needs, and delegating work is one of those ways to achieve that. Now, as far as like where do we go to get these people? Some of you guys are already familiar with different platforms, and the platforms that I've listed here, there's a bunch of them, but like the ones that I usually use are Fiverr and Upwork. There's hit or miss depending on what you're looking for. Some platforms are better maybe at like creative work. If you're looking for YouTube thumbnails, it may be Upwork, but like if you're looking for video editing, it may be Fiverr. But it's like the only way to find out is really locate 2-3 individuals and just try it and just kind of see where you land. Yes, you're gonna end up spending some money at the beginning. Fortunately, it's not a lot. Usually it's about $5, $10, $30, maybe $40 per engagement with somebody on Fiverr or Upwork. But then you'll be able to kind of say like where do you fall in terms of like the financial bracket, like how much is it going to cost you to get the quality of work that you expect. So it really depends on the type of work, but the only way to find out is get on the platform, create an account, and just try. I use Fiverr, Upwork, I use Freelancer, I use what's the other platform? Retouchup. I've used them in the past. So those are like more niche specific platforms where you just deal with photo retouchers. So you can search online for the niche platforms. I would only recommend staying on Fiverr and Upwork at the very beginning, and then just kind of grow from there. And you can also ask other photographers. Very often, photographers work with individuals that create work for them, and they did the vetting already, so it may actually be easier to ask. Like if you're in the network of other photographers, you can just ask for references. A lot of times you'll get a name. Usually they send you to somebody on Fiverr or Upwork, and this is a great starting point for you. And then local, global talent. That's the one thing I wanted to bring up. Like you're not only in the local space, local market, looking for local individuals. It's global, right? There's a lot of people out there, a lot of times working in a totally different time zone. So like, even if there's like a rush job or something, or a retouch, or maybe you're doing headshot photography for local law offices, they need something for like a marketing campaign for tomorrow. Very often it's not uncommon to like have a retoucher that's gonna do the work overnight as you sleep. So that's just another benefit of having that setup in place. And before we actually go on to the next slide, I wanted to share something with you guys here where this is the slide, but what I wanted to show you is if you are not familiar with Fiverr or Upwork, I just wanted to like flash a couple of the screens here. So this is Fiverr on the screen here. You see the logo here on the left, but Fiverr has different categories. Like if you're wondering what type of work they're covering. I just got a pop-up. It went away. Let me see if I can do it again. Is it going to show me? It didn't. But even here at the top, it says graphic design, programming and tag, digital marketing, video and anime. Oh, here are the categories. So you can see it's a lot of categories. Anything you can think of in terms of copy and website and music and business help and finance, like keeping your books. They've added new category to like AI services. So it's just kind of all over the place. If I'm looking for somebody, YouTube video editing, let's say you're doing shorts maybe or videos for your YouTube channel, maybe growing that platform, you can just say YouTube video editing, and this is what it is. You pretty much have everybody just kind of raising a flag there. Hey, I'm a YouTube editor. And then you can see the pricing, and it's kind of all over the place. So you can try, depending on how complex you want to make this thing, you have different price levels. And you can just reach out to individuals. Usually what I like to do is reach out, have a quick conversation, make sure you guys are aligned before you start sending files and official requests and paying money. Like, have a conversation first, and then see if you guys align, and then move on with the actual assignment. Upwork, same deal. This one, for example, this is Wix website. A lot of you guys are on Rackspace or Wix or other platforms. You can come in here and just kind of type in the keyword, and same deal. Like, you have the pricing levels of anywhere from $15 an hour, $10 an hour, $15 an hour. And you'll be able to, and then I always look at ratings. Think of it as like Amazon rating, where you can go and you can look at like how many jobs a certain individual handled, what's the rating, are people happy with that individual, and then you can message them, you can save them in your favorites for next time. So that's exactly what I would do on Upwork. I did not use Freelancer much. I don't even have my account info, but Freelancer is just another website. You go in, you type in the keyword, top talent. This is guys, when you get to the next level with your business. Let's say you're running now a photography studio. You're looking for somebody. Let's say you just want to be in the creative role, and you want to do photography only. This is a platform where you can reach out and hire somebody to like run your studio. Almost like a manager for the studio. So we're talking next level, but just something to keep in mind for later, because you may get there in a year, 2, 3 years. And this is really where you find the next level of individuals, right? But it's not only those platforms. Even if you go onto Facebook, you can go on Facebook and search for YouTube thumbnail designer. And on Facebook, those are free public groups. Very often you can come in and go into one of those groups and just ask a question. If you're looking for a retoucher, if you're looking for somebody that does video work, or somebody that does thumbnails for your social media platforms, this is where you would find them. So it's not only those other platforms, you can have discussions here. The only thing with Fiverr, Upwork, Freelancer, those platforms charge these individuals for the work. They have to split the profit. The thing with the groups, it's a little different. So it's a give and take. It's think of it as a balance. Like, sometimes you can find good individuals inside Facebook groups. But there's no promise. There's no protection, right? So even maybe you are trying to rush some work. Somebody tells you they're going to do it in a day. Like, there's really nobody to go to complain about if they're going to hold it up like 2 weeks or something. So not a huge fan of groups, but it's an option you can try. Maybe it'll work better for you than it did for me. And then also, I didn't mention here, I'm not showing LinkedIn. If you're looking for like referrals from other photographers, you can find local photographers on LinkedIn and just reach out, send them a message and say, hey, do you know somebody that handles this type of work? And you'll be surprised. A lot of photographers are going to be willing to help you. So we've talked about the platforms. We have talked about the benefits. Let's go back to the slide here and switch the gears over. And vetting and onboarding, I'm just going to cover it very super high level. And the process is really super simple. So it's at the beginning, you're testing a project. So you're starting small before big commitments. Like I said, have a conversation first, maybe send them a sample of work, maybe a couple of images. I remember when I was working with our great editor, I was able to send him maybe 10 pieces of work, and we sort of did this exchange where we have discussed the creative portion of it. Very often you can hop on like Zoom call and just kind of walk through it, just so they understand where you're coming from, what the deliverable should be, instead of guessing. And I was able to provide some samples. They send me some work back. They actually, even the person I'm working with, like, he's able to send me just individual piece of work to like edit it differently, and we then kind of designate the style for this particular type of work, and then he moves on with the rest of the images. So like, you're testing the project first with small batch. You're training them. Usually, like I said, it happens at the beginning. even if it's the first, 2, 3, 4 engagements, 2, 3, 4 weddings where you have to kind of go back and forth. Bit of a painful process at the beginning, but once they're on board, once they're sort of synced, the signal to noise ratio is minimized, they know exactly what you're looking for, you're going to be good. You're not going to have to train anybody. And then evaluate quality, communication, timeliness. Those things are important. So it's not just like matching on a creative work and making sure that they are creatively in the same space, but also you got to make sure that it's quality communication every time, that they are timeliness, like do they deliver on time all the time? And you can just kind of judge them over time, and then just stay with whoever performs the best. So that is really it. And then documenting the process, create system for each future handoffs. Very important, because when you go through this process with one editor, things happen, life happens. People go away, people change their mind, people go into different niches and change jobs or whatever. So you want to make sure that this process is well documented. So in case when you need to switch over, maybe find somebody else, maybe find another editor. Sometimes when you get overwhelmed with clients, you have too many requests coming in. You may need more than one editor, right? You can handle some of the work yourself, but like we were saying, if you're delegating editing to somebody else and you don't want to touch editing, you may need more than one editor. So something to remember here. And then my last slide here is just it's just a reminder. It's just a reminder that it's okay to stay in your genius zone. It's okay to stay with the tasks that you guys enjoy doing. If you just want to be the photographer, meaning the person on the spot taking photos, just do that. And the rest pretty much can be outsourced. And then eventually with time, you can even outsource the photography portion of it. And you can only step in and take and you can only take as much work as you would like later on, right? So you get to choose, you get that flexibility of like, hey, maybe I want to just be super selective with what clients I'm working with, and the rest of the clients will be handled by my second photographer, right? So maybe you want to have different pricing levels. And at one level, it's going to be maybe 2 photographers you're working with. They're handling that portion. Yes, you're going to make less money with it, but you're going to be making portion of the money. So you're actually going to just show up, charge a certain percentage, and the rest is your cost, because you're going to have to pay that photographer. You're going to have to pay your editor, maybe pay the person that's handling social media. So like I said, sky is the limit, and this is very important when we're talking about scaling and working with others. And I believe there was one more slide here. Let's just take a quick look. Your business should support your life, guys. It's super, super important. A lot of us focus on just the making money portion. And very often we don't think how we can marry this business with our lifestyle. Very often people end up in the spot where they kind of wake up a year, 2, 3 years later and notice that the sort of work-life balance is totally off. So by building this business intentionally and making sure that you have those checkpoints, the milestones where maybe 5 clients in, you're like, okay, is this the time when I should be leveraging somebody to handle part of the work? That's super important. Buy back your time. When you work with others, delegation is an investment, not an expense, because you are buying back time. That time that you're going to have to spend working on selecting images and editing images, spending time on your social media, you're able then to buy back that time, and you don't have to do things you don't want to do. Build for the long game. Obviously, you're avoiding burnout. It's less work. Yes, it's less money, but it's also less work. So you can fine tune that to whatever to the point where you are actually enjoying the process. Create systems that scale without burnout. Very important. And start small. Like I said, you don't have to overwhelm yourself. You don't have to work with 3 individuals all at the same time, especially in the beginning. One task at a time builds a self-sustaining business. When you reach out to an individual, I always recommend start with maybe image selections, or I started personally with image editing. and that took a tremendous load off for me. So start with one person, see if you can handle one task. With time, you're going to get more comfortable. You'll become better at it, and then you're going to start noticing other tasks that are good candidates for delegating to other individuals. And I think that was really the last slide that I wanted to share with you guys. Don't have a topic for next week yet. One more reminder: when you want to leave some comments, questions, you can always do it below the video. If you need to reach out to me, if you have some questions later, if you want to join a group, this site, you're going to be able to find some links. There's a link to my profile on Facebook. There's a link to the Facebook group that I mentioned sort of mid-episode here. And there's also a link to the Instagram and X platform. We're just starting with X. We'll see where that goes. And if you enjoy the episode, and if you're going to be watching this on YouTube, right in the corner there should be a video that you should be watching next that probably has some similar good content that's going to be super helpful for you guys. Appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next Thursday, 12 p.m. See you guys. Bye.